Hello and welcome to yet another edition of News 18 Yuva Bharat in association with Ayman, a student body which has been working very closely with us here at the CNN News 18 and the News 18 network to put together issues which concern the Yuva of Bharat. And that's why we're calling it Yuva Bharat. And one of the biggest issues at this point, it's raging, is, well, boards are cancelled because of COVID fears. But what next? How do you take this thing take it forward? So I've got Rajvi Patil, who's a student. Dr. Pratibha Jain is a counselor, principal of the Yuva Bharati School from Coimbatore, is also with us. Geeta Jayachandran ji, and we also have Manjusha Naik, who's a parent. So and she's the parent of a student in grade 12, and we also have a perennial presence in this show, just like me, Rishabh Shah, president of Ayman. So Rishabh, thank you for curating and helping put together this group. And you are one of those people who continue to say the government is not listening to the students. How can we write exams, create a mode of public, create a platform? What is this? How can we put lives in danger? Why can't we write exams? Chalo, ab nahi ho rahe boards. Rishabh, ab mujhe batao what next?
What next? I think the 12th standard examinations, so 12th and 10th, in my opinion, they did not get them to write the examinations. In a way, it is good because better safe than sorry. I'll yet maintain that stand. But of course, this is going to be a COVID batch. This batch is going to be seen as a batch that with examinations, and that there's no taking away from that. But I also feel that there's too much of pressure on 10 and 12 in order to perform generally also. It's like your 10th and 12th marks are going to determine what is going to happen to you 50 years later. And which I feel fundamentally very wrong. Because when you're in grade 10 and grade 12, you're grasping some nuances of what is happening across the world. You don't understand everything. And most of the people who have studied in grade 10 and 12, and all of us have, very few are practicing what we've actually learned in grade 10 and 12 and grade 15. In fact, most of the stuff that we've learned as professionals is very different from what we studied in our textbook. So this over obsession with grade 10, grade 12 and grade 15 के वो लोग को पढ़ाई करवाओ, वो लोग को एग्जाम्स लिखवाओ, वो लोग से मतलब अव्वल नंबर से पास होने चाहिए, पास नहीं हुए तो प्रॉब्लम होगा. That entire concept and logic, that is something that I'm
एक बात मैं कहूँ, very ideal. This is all ideal, but idealism और जो real है ना, what is real is very different. The top bankers in our country are all from IIT. They're all engineers. What are engineers doing in the banking system? So you can ask this question. It sounds it, and you know, source Amir Khan also asked this question in Three Idiots. It looks great to walk it on 70 mm, but I'm going to go to Manjusha Naik. And I'll tell you, there are mothers who have decided and who are working, training their wards to be ready for 10th, 12th, and IIT JEE from the time they are in the 5th standard. So that's the level of preparation that goes out in an average household towards how to fix the careers of their children. And parents are obsessed with it. They've given their lives for it, and they've tried to ensure coaching the kids so that they peak at the time of the exam. Just like an athlete is made to peak right at the time of the Olympics, this is the level of science that is going beyond preparing kids for exams in the average household in our country. Manjusha ji, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, Anand, it's really nice of you to give me a chance to speak. Now, here I agree. What he said, I totally agree. Marks doesn't matter. That's true. But then, having said that, tell me, which college are you pass out from? And doesn't this affect in your career? And college means 12th marks. Unless or until you have good marks, you're not going to get college. That is the practical part of the life. Or you should have some quota. See what I would like to say. All idealism in everything, the ideal world, everything is great. What you said, it is true. But then, what about those children who actually were participating, were waiting for the right time to strike the iron when it was hot?
Yeah, as Manjusha said, yeah, children have been preparing very hard. Anand rightly said, the coaching starts as early as 5th standard and 6th standard, to get them into the professional courses. But my question here is, yeah, with regard to institutions where they were able to reach out to the children during this pandemic, for the past 1 year. Yeah, I agree some kind of learning would have happened. But what about the majority of the population who never had the opportunity for this? The kind of resources, the under-resourced schools, where teachers were not able to reach out to the children. And if you're going to talk about that kind of assessment, what are these children going to do when actually the learning has not happened? What are you going to test these children on?
1.4 million institutions are there in our country. 250 million students are studying in K-12 schools. And Manjusha, I appreciate and understand. I'm also from an urban precinct of South Bombay. I understand that we have internet access, but this internet access is not there across the country. So
exactly, I agree with you there. When
and that is a very large percentage.
Internet
That's a
access
very big
is not there.
We have to take into account the
Classes didn't
equity of
happen.
it all.
No internet access. So what will you judge on them? How will you judge them? How will you mark them when there was no internet? Nothing. So tell me the solution. Tell me the other way around.
The point is, let's move forward. Let's develop an equitable solution, which I think since 10th, whether there will be a few who don't agree that 10th is what their correct index, but by and large across India, 10th is taken seriously. And the 12th board students have a standardized 10th board mark sheet under whatever fair and equitable circumstances for every school. So if we take that as the major index and allow then each college, because professional colleges have conducted their own exam, they don't depend on the boards. The private universities also conduct their own exam and assessment processes. They also don't depend on the boards as the primary index. The state university colleges are the only ones which give a very high, index criteria of admission to the 12th board. And it is that cohort that we can say, look, take 10th as your base and maybe develop an internal assessment to assess whether this student is right for your course and your environment. It could be a St. Stephen's or a Lady Shri Ram or an HR Jai Hind conducted, and maybe another college says, look, I don't need it. I'm happy with whatever the 2 board mark sheets I get. So that individual, I know it may be a little burden on the colleges, but I think that would give a fair opinion and opportunity for students like Manjushri's daughter to say, look, I have one more opportunity to prove my caliber over and beyond the standardized testing.
Well, that is one option. But Rajvi, where do you stand? When you go to the college, what is it that you're going to tell them? How do you think you should be graded and marked for your 12th standard this year?
I don't know if that would be the right thing, but I feel that whatever they are deciding as per the 10th or the past 3 years performance of a student, which I feel is good, because like ma'am said that many have worked hard, which I agree on, but during the pandemic there were many students, and I have personally seen a lot of my batchmates breaking down and losing their close ones. So it was obviously not right on, the part of the authorities to take exams right now, online or offline, because a lot of students were in no mental state to give exams because of the losses they had faced.
After you finish once you get into your into your graduation, and when you get to go to work and you want to study further, there will be a time where there will be somebody before you who has a mark sheet, and there will be somebody after you who has a mark sheet, who will come back and say, I have these numbers and I have taken the exam and this is my number and this is my assessment. And you are going to be somebody who will say, I never took the exam because we were going through a tough time. But 2 years later, 3 years later, the person sitting there is no longer going to be sensitive to what you went through at that time or what your friends went through at that time. They're going to be objective about it. And right now, somebody else is going to decide this objectivity. Geetaji, you agree with me, disagree with me? And that's
100%. No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
So, and that's what I think Manjusha ji as a parent was saying. On the one hand, there are parents who are obsessed and they worked so hard towards getting their child ready to write that exam. On the other hand, there are millions of children who are in no way to study and they were no way ready to write this exam. So you have both sides of the coin. Now, how am I going to judge? How am I going to judge and assess these people, Geeta ji and then Dr. Pratibha? Yeah. And how am I going to ensure that they don't get compromised going forward? A Lady Shri Ram College has a cutoff on normal circumstances of 99.5%. So if you have 99.3, you don't get admission. And at 99.5, there are 200 seats available and there are 2,000 students or say 300 or 500 students writing the entrance test. So who's going to write the entrance test now? Who are they going to invite? How are they going to invite? What is the benchmark? There are students who will come who would say who had 92% in their 10th standard, but they have 99.4% in their 12th standard.
Right. See, the scenario was like that, we never came across a pandemic like this. And for years together, we've been following this system of marks. And that was the benchmark for all the institutions to start their admission process. Anybody beyond 99 only applies for Shrirams and colleges, right? So, but now the scenario is completely different. See, education should teach you all about facing the challenges. And we as, part of the education system, now we need to come out, thinking about innovative ways and means of assessing our children. One thing we have to understand is that our system, education system, sorry to say this, but we have to agree this, we were training our children for marks. It's more of marks. It's more of somewhere. I think this is an opportunity for us to move away from this system and giving marks based on their, previous year's assessment. I don't think that stands good, Anand, because see, children do change. I've seen children till 10th standard, they are a very, very mediocre performer. But when they come to senior secondary, they take things much seriously and they start performing well. Similarly, it is the other way around also. So in what way I would be doing justice if I'm going to, grade them depending on the 10th standard or the 11th standard. Somewhere, even the 10th standard, we had, directions from the board to moderate the marks, and we were given a reference here. So in fact, I told you all should be thankful to that batch, which could create the highest percentage, because on lines of those marks only, we had, moderated the marks for grade 10. But grade 12 is completely different. Giving them marks on the basis of their previous performance. And 11th standard children don't prepare at all. I'm 100% sure. I've seen that for the past 13, 14 years I'm there, seeing the, 10 children coming to 11th. They do not take things seriously at all in grade 11. Probably grade 10, they think they've given one board examination and they wanted to, relax. So they don't take things seriously. So in that case, how do I take 11th performance as a kind of a benchmark and give them marks for 12 when they're more serious about, things in grade 12 because they want to get admission into good colleges based on their marks?
I agree with everything you all said. Yes. But जब colleges अपना entrance test करा सकती है, तो CBSE अपना 12th test क्यों नहीं करा सकती है? हमें सिर्फ अपना पैटर्न ही तो बदलना है. हमें सिर्फ अपना पैटर्न बदलना है. हमें सब्जेक्टिव से ऑब्जेक्टिव में जाना है.
You must understand that there is now the children are not in the mood. I think this is an opportunity for the Indian system, because I'm a psychologist and from the humanitarian field. So I beg to differ with Anand. I think we are also equally analytical and scientific in approach. What is important is continuous assessment. I don't want to be, because then we are testing not the ability to rote learn and memorize and write a theory paper, but we are testing, did I understand quantitative analysis when I was doing maths? Did I understand how the society works when I was doing psychology? So the inbuilt continuous assessments of skills as well as theory, then this problem will not arise that I'm waiting for one 3-hour exam to determine whether I know or not know.
I agree with you, ma'am. I am totally on your side on this. Please don't get me wrong. I am totally on your side that we have to move to a system of continuous assessment. I disagree with the concept of annual exams. I disagree with the concept of साल में एक बार तुम 2 महीने के लिए पढ़ लो और सब पास हो जाओगे और जितने marks के लिए पढ़ने वाले का logic में I don't agree with it. But the reality, ma'am, in our country is, and Dr. Pratibha Jain, the reality is that this is the norm. What we are talking is currently an exception. By the time this exception becomes the norm, which will take at least another decade, if not more.
Probably the start is from now. The shift is going to be from now, and this is an opportunity for that shift for all of us.
I agree. But the problem, Geeta ji, is that in the last 18 to 19 months, we have not had a system of continuous assessment for 2.4 million children.
Correct.
So then again, how do I assess
it? We have not given them that kind of access. Nobody thought of a situation like that. So if you could have asked me, I would have said school without children, no way. isn't it? But it is happening now. So we should have had that kind of forethought. What if these things are coming? Only now things are, popping up like this. We should have thought this long back. If suppose something happens, how am I going to reach out to my children? How are we going to reach out to those children who should learn? As Rishabh said, it is 80 to 90% of the children have not got that opportunity. It's too late for us to sit and think about all those things. Now, given this situation, what are we going to do next? Now, yes, cancellation of exam, as Rajvi said, many of them are not in the mindset to take up examination because of their own trauma, which they are actually going through. So that way, they are not in a mindset to take up examinations, and even pushing it further is not going to make any sense. So it was a welcome move that the examinations have been cancelled.
You know, the difference the difference is, Rajvi, that currently our education system does not award intelligence. It awards, a methodic way of approaching and putting in hard work.
But sir,
So
there is a life.
it's not necessary for you to understand the concept. It is necessary for you to be able to write down that concept, reproduce it in the paper, that will get you the marks.
But all I want to
Being
say
a Ramanujam will only get you 0.
All I wanted to say is there is a life outside that education system, and I believe that no matter how many books you read, until you go out and experience life, all that knowledge will be of no use.
I agree with you. But point is that society and the world is so brutal right now.
So you worked hard, it's good for you. You can appreciate yourself for that. But the situation is such that we cannot do anything. We can just not help.
No, but the point is, what are you going to do 2 years down the line?
What
when
next?
you
won't get any chance anywhere. What next?
You will go out, and tomorrow, if you are marginalized, Rajvi, not because you are not good, but because you don't have a mark sheet, because you don't have, then who will you turn around and blame? Because see, what you are saying, I am on board with you, Rajvi. The system should be like that. They will allow you to explore, they will allow you to experiment, they will judge you on the basis of your ability to grasp a concept and then implement it. But that's not how the system is currently. That system is moving towards that direction, but उसमें time लगेगा. और उसमें क्या होगा पता? There will be 5 or 6 batches which are going to go through this churn. The pandemic has forced this churn on this current batch. And we are looking at a base of at least 2 to 3 crore students over the next 5 to 6 years who are going to be subject to this churn before there is a certain level of a semblance of getting to the place where you are currently, or where we all want the system to be currently, will get to.
So what solution do you think coming? What solution can you see?
I think that those who are not happy should be allowed. Suppose I've got an admission, I've taken my admission wherever I have achieved, but I still have that niggling doubt in my mind that I could have done better, because my 12th mark sheet is like a milestone, which I use even for my future masters or MBA anywhere in the world. They should be allowed to retake the 12th, maybe in October, or sit with the next cohort in 2022. So I have that opportunity to say, look, my hard work was washed out in 2021, but because I want that level, I want that mark sheet to prove that I am what I am, let this particular cohort be given the opportunity, whoever wants it, it's optional, not mandatory, to take a 12th board exam either in 2022 or October or whenever it is possible, so that long term, I'm a psychologist, I help students even with master's applications, so I'm not stuck with this 21 mark sheet which I don't agree with.
Can I just quickly come in on this?
Yeah.
And Pratibha ji, I have a lot of respect because I've seen you at HR in Bombay. But at the same point in time, let me just quickly add to this, Anand, the pessimism that surrounds, and this has also come through in the panel, that the pessimism that what is going to happen, ye log ke paas mark sheet nahi hai, ye log ke sath kya hoga. I'll be very honest, I've seen at IIMon a few million students, out of which many have got into university where in engineering they have subjects where they have failed and they've actually got into Ivy League schools or the group of eight, or in case of our own universities out here. So not all, I agree that, you know, the fact that it's going to impact them in some way, but I really think that this generation Z or Generation Z, as you call it, is made out of tougher stuff, and these guys are definitely, we can't make them write examinations again. I'm not necessarily in favor of that, because at the end of the day, then if somebody gives an exam right now, somebody 2 years later will say, I want to give the 12th examination again. It's happened, it's done. It was a pandemic, it's an unprecedented time. Let's move forward. Let's look at them moving forward, and what they can do with it. And
but how can you take away the choice from them? How can you take away the choice?
It's
You have to
they
give
should be given a choice.
You can't take away the choice. You can't take away the choice from me that I want to go back and write the exams again, because I will study and I will I will take the exams, but you cannot take away the choice from me.
Give them a choice. After joining college.
You don't need to force them, but you need to give them the choice. Nobody's forcing them to go and write the exams.
If somebody wants to willingly go and do it,
yeah, correct. That's what I'm trying to say. And that Dr. Pratibha is also saying the same thing. Dr. Pratibha is saying that if you're not happy with the assessment that you have, you should have the choice to go and write the exam and attempt the exam. So whether it is midterm sometime in September or October, or if it is done with the next year in terms of March, that's a different point. That is something which has to be deliberated upon. But there has to be a certain level of objectivity till the time we move holistically towards a system which does continuous assessment. See, now in junior classes, in the lower classes, there is a system of continuous assessment which is being actively practiced in a lot of schools. But by the time that comes towards 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th standard, it's going to take another 4-5 years. And by then, like I said, you're going to sit on a cache of 2.5 crore students, if not more, who are going to go through this churn, this conundrum. My biggest, and it's not being pessimistic. It's like I said, it's realism. I'm telling you, we are looking at a set of people which the larger number is obsessed with marks. I would like the larger number to be obsessed with ability, but today the larger number in our country is obsessed
the other way around.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because the market is such. The market is such. We need to change the market first. If you want the supply to change, you need to first work on market. The market is such, so obviously supply is going to go that way.
It's not the market as much as the psychology of people and the way we brought up the entire thing. It's not just
No. You go to colleges, you will realize what it is.
You hear it from a parent, and I'll tell you, for that person who's from an economically weaker section of society, working, living in the city or in the village or in the rural areas or in tier 2, tier 3 cities, their road to redemption is either they start their own entrepreneurship and they make it big on their own, correct, or they study hard. It is this mark sheet which is their ticket to success. It is this mark sheet. So what comes down at the end of the day is कि मैंने क्या पेपर में लिखा, मैंने क्या दिमाग में समझा नहीं, मैंने क्या पेपर में लिखा. ये सिस्टम रियलिटी है. आप इस सिस्टम को क्वेश्चन करिए, सही है. मैं इस सिस्टम के साथ नहीं हूँ. I am not for this system.
Yes, but वही पासवर्ड है आपका गेटवे का.
Correct.
अगर आपको
luckily with so many,
you won't be able to get
any
chance.
Yeah,
but that's changing. But that reality is changing, and there are people who are recruiting.
We have to consider that this is a start for that kind of change. Now, the pandemic has actually allowed us to think beyond, just not being stuck with what we have been doing, which is not going to work for the future.
Correct. Now, what's going to happen in the next 4-5 years is
the guinea pigs.
Yeah,
that is what hurts most. Why this year students have been taken as
guinea pigs? Because ma'am, it had to start from somewhere, and the first two or three groups will feel like guinea pigs. There will be those who will feel perhaps this is the way when we are breaking free of a system, we're breaking the shackles. That's one. Yeah, torch bearers for a new system of education. Yeah. But when you hold the torch, your hand will also feel the heat. Okay, so that's the reality. You will have to carry the weight, and it will hang around like a millstone for the rest of your life. So you'll have to deal with it, and that's the only thing that I'm saying. How well we are able to equip them to deal with it is important. Do corporates understand, and will they make sure that they'll advise their HR teams that you don't discriminate with the COVID batch, you don't single them out, and you don't choose a non-COVID batch over a COVID batch. in terms of marks and in terms of their preference, and then you treat them as equals in ability. This is the conditioning that has to be done, and that is the challenge. And then for that, the assessment mechanism has to be absolutely fair, and you have to give the choice to the students and the parents that if they want their wards, or if the wards want to take the exam somewhere before the next academic year, you should allow them to do it. So I'm just saying, these are the hard realities. We're not looking at, we're not looking at what is the ideal way. We're looking at what is
practically
real
possible.
and what is practically possible. I have to wind up the conversation. It's been very, very engaging, but I think, overshot time by a lot, and we'll have to crunch this episode into, and I just hope they edit my portions out, not yours. But thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much.
Thanks a lot, Anand.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Rishabh.